Okay, guys, it's me, Mr. Burkholz. Today we're going to go over one-point perspective. I'm going to show you everything you need to know as fast as I can because I'm trying to keep this video short so you pay attention and don't get too bored. So you're going to need a white piece of paper. You're going to need yourself some kind of eraser. You're going to need a ruler, and you're going to need a pencil. Okay? So the first thing we want to do is we want to put a vanishing point, a point in the center of the paper. This is known as the vanishing point. The vanishing point, everything appears to vanish at the vanishing point. Okay, this is called one-point perspective. Notice that there is one point, the vanishing point, one-point perspective. That's the point. Okay. Next thing you need to do, get your ruler and draw a line across your paper. This is known as the horizon line. The horizon line determines where the ground and the sky touch. Okay? So imagine this is the sky and this is the ground. Here's an example of that. Notice the vanishing point is in the center. The ground is here. The sky's up here. Here's another example. Notice that the road appears to vanish at the vanishing point, which is also on the horizon. Okay, so that being said, let's start by drawing some basic shapes. Mr. Burkholz, what is a shape? Well, I'm glad you asked. A shape is a two-dimensional object, I guess, or plane that encompasses space. So basically, it has walls and there's space inside of it. It's an enclosed space. I am drawing geometric shapes. That means there's corners. An example of a organic or non-geometric shape would be the letter S, or a circle. No corners, just one line. Okay? So for example, even though it's not that well drawn, that is an organic shape. Just stay away from organic shapes. We don't want to talk about those today. That'll be another thing. So draw yourself some shapes. Follow along. You don't have to go this quick. Take your time. Rewatch the video if you need. And I'll show you how to do this. Like I said, my key here is speed. Let's make this one a little shorter here. Okay, don't draw too dark. You're going to have to erase a lot. All right, so I have three shapes here. I'm going to keep it really simple. If I want to make this really complicated, I can. I'll show you some examples of that if I have time. If not, that'll be a whole nother video. Okay? So, this shape here. Shapes have two dimensions, which means they're 2D, like a cartoon. They're flat. Their dimensions are height and length. Okay, they're flat, like this paper. There's no third dimension. It's not 3D, it's 2D. To make it 3D, we add a third dimension, known as depth. Depth helps reinforce space, which makes things look three-dimensional. To do this, you place your ruler on the corner of one of the said corners of this object shape thing, and draw lines down to the vanishing point. That makes it look like it's receding into the background, and it gives the viewer a feeling of depth and space. Okay, now I'm going to trace this line over on there, right here. Okay, same thing here. I'm going to trace this line from that corner over, and these lines are parallel. That means if I made this line and I made this line, and they went on for miles and miles, they would never touch each other. That means parallel. But I don't need those lines. Okay? So right there, I got a three-dimensional floating form. Shape refers to two-dimension. When we're talking about 3D, three-dimension, we're talking about form. So this is a form. This is a shape. To make this shape a form, we got to make all these lines recede back to the vanishing point. So let's go ahead and do that. Draw lightly because you're going to have to erase. If you're good enough, you don't have to make this line go all the way to the vanishing point. You could stop it somewhere. Save yourself some work. Okay? Now this line, this line, this line, and this line get traced over. It could be up here, it could be down there. Wherever you want. I'm going to put it right there. Okay, and that corner gets traced over. Keep that line parallel. This line gets traced over from that corner, straight up. Make sure it's parallel. And then this line right here gets traced over, like so. Make sure it's parallel. And then you come back with your eraser, and you just erase all this junk here. You don't need these lines anymore. They were just a little map showing you where to go. And there you go. Now you got this free-floating, three-dimensional form. It looks like a really thick L that's backwards. Okay, now some more complicated things I could show you to start manipulating these. Here's an example of some complicated forms. Notice how I cut into things, I connected things, right? These started as very simple forms, and then I would just add on a piece or cut away, and then make changes as necessary to make complicated forms. You don't have to do that. If you want to keep this thing simple, go ahead. Keep it simple. Let me just show you a couple little tricks here to manipulate. I got a couple minutes. I'm trying to keep this video at 10 minutes. Okay, so I go straight up, straight up. This goes to the vanishing point. And then this little line goes straight over, just like that. Boom. I just made a hole in this object, this form. And I can color that in if I want. Make it appear a little darker in there, like absence of light. If I want to add on to an area, right? This is area A. Just add on to it. Just add on. It's that easy. Boom. Erase the leftovers. Erase that. Now this side A is extended in this area. So the only thing I really got to do, this is really simple too. I just got to draw this corner over to the vanishing point, and I'm done. I just add it on. Okay. It's pretty easy. Now if I want to go crazy, I connect this to this. If I want add more, I can overlap. Let me just show you how to overlap real quick, and we'll call it a day. I'm going to draw a shape in front of this form. Okay, now I have two things that I can do here. If I want this form to be in front of this form, I erase this line. If I want this form to be in front of this, which will be a form, right now it's a shape, I erase this. I want this to be in front of A, so I'm going to erase this. So this shape is sitting over top of A. And right now, it's just two-dimensional. It has no depth. Let's give it some depth. Let's get those corners drawn over to that vanishing point, like so. All right. And now this line gets traced over straight up. Remember, keep it parallel. And then this corner gets drawn straight over, like so. Boom. Clean it up. Make it look good. Looks like I got to get rid of this line right here. I don't need that anymore. And there you go. Now I have another form sitting directly over top of this form here. Form A, I guess we can call it. And that puts us at 9 minutes. I'm going to close this up. That was a very quick tutorial to try to draw one-point perspective. What I would like you to do is to try to draw this. You don't got to draw this specifically. Just draw your own thing. Let's fill the page up as much as you can. Let's maybe say 7 to 10 forms. Okay, so start by drawing 7 to 10 shapes, or maybe 5, and then add some later. And then turn those shapes into forms by adding depth, which means just draw a shape, and then draw those corners to that vanishing point. Okay, and then edit as you need. Right? Okay. If you have any questions or you want to send me your work, here is my email address, Steve Burkholz at pinelandschool.org. Okay. I miss you guys. I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're really doing all right. I hope you're doing your work. I hope you're staying out of trouble. If you want to reach out to me and contact me, that's my email. Like I said, if you have any questions or you just want to show me your work, send it to there. Okay. Look forward to hearing from you, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Okay. Have a good day and have a safe, blessed week.